Hey, aspiring author, you don't need another book idea. You need to finish the one you already started. If you have 10 book ideas, 5 titles, and 0 completed drafts, this episode is for you. Today, I'm sharing 3 powerful shifts to help you stop fretting over ideas and finally complete your manuscript. It's time to move from brainstorming to building. Let's get it. Ready to write your first book and make an impact? Do you wish you could organize your book ideas without feeling overwhelmed and actually find the time to write and finish your book? Hey, I'm Donna Cherie, a book writing coach and author. Welcome to Book Writing Made Simple. Inside this podcast, I'll teach you how to get a clear vision for your book idea, get organized, keep it simple, and develop a writing plan so you can finally get your book out into the world. Grab a notebook and pen with your favorite cup of tea. Hey, what's up, aspiring author? I hope that you are doing well today and that you have come prepared to learn and also to implement what I'm going to be sharing in this episode. If you're new here, welcome to Book Writing Made Simple. I'm your host, Donna Cherie, and make sure that you subscribe to the show. Thank you all so much for continuing to just tune in, to show up, to come into our writers community on Facebook, and those who have been coached by me thus far. I really want to just say thank you so much, and I look forward to continue to working with you all in the books that will be birthed in 2026. I'm super excited about that. And thank you again for your love and support. This show is on the road to our first 10,000 downloads, and I'm super excited to share that we are over 7,000 downloads strong on the Book Writing Made Simple podcast, and it's just continuing to grow. And this just shows me that this information, this content is so needed because there's so many individuals just like you listening who desire to write and publish your first book so that you can make a kingdom impact. So thank you so much, and I hope that you get out your notebook and pen today, take some notes for what I'll be sharing. So I want to share this in love today. This message that I'm sharing with you is certainly coming from a place of love and as an encourager, as your book writing coach. So you don't have an idea problem. You have a finishing problem. You have the notes, you have the outlines, you have the titles saved in your phone, you have the voice memos, you may even have chapters started. But what you don't have is a completed draft. And instead of admitting where you are, you keep telling yourself, I just need a better angle. Maybe this isn't the right idea. Is this the perfect time to write? I think I need to rework the outline again. What if the issue isn't clarity? What if it's actually commitment? Being able to commit to your book idea and actually start the book writing process. So in today's episode, I want to lovingly challenge you because instead of fretting over ideas, I really want you to think about these 3 mindset shifts that I'm sharing with you that will help you to finally complete your draft instead of staying in this cycle of brainstorming all the time or just having ideas, just having thoughts about your book. I really want to share this information so that it takes you from ideation to actual application, to actual action so that you can move forward in the book writing process. When I first started writing seriously, I didn't have this published outline. I didn't understand the full book writing process when I had an idea to write my first book. I knew that it was something I wanted to do. The Lord was calling me to do it. I didn't even know how chapters were supposed to flow. I had a couple of paragraphs. That's it. That's all I had was a couple of paragraphs. Now, I could have deleted them. I could have told myself, this isn't structured enough. This isn't enough. Let me just start over, delete all of this, scratch it off. I could have started over when I learned more, when I actually started to learn more about the book writing process and all of that. But I didn't. I kept those 2 paragraphs, and when I finally got my outline, I plugged them into it. So I didn't start over. I just used what I had, and this became a part of the foundation of my book writing journey. Here's what I've noticed, not just in my journey, but in coaching aspiring authors. Most of you aren't stuck because you lack ideas. Like many of you have a whole lot of ideas, a lot of different book ideas. You're stuck because you're abandoning the one you already started, or you're abandoning the one that God has specifically called you to write for this season in life. You keep restarting, rearranging, renaming, reimagining, all the reings. And every time you do that, you're just resetting your momentum. You're taking yourself back to the starting point, back to the starting place. And you're feeling like you're doing this all over again. So let's talk about how to break that cycle, because in 2026, we're breaking this cycle of just staying in the brainstorming phase and just having and telling people that we have book ideas. Okay, that's great. We have book ideas, but let's get to writing out these book ideas into full manuscript. So, the first mindset shift that I want to help you and share with you today to complete your draft is to encourage you to continue from where you started. Go with your instinct, your initial idea, your God inspired idea. Instead of starting over, pick up where you left off with your book idea and flesh it out. Arrange your content according to the chapter it goes in. So, what you've already written, figure out where it belongs in the chapter. What chapter should it be in? Is this at the front of your book or the back of the book? Don't start over, but continue from where you left off. As I shared just a few minutes ago, when I first got started, I only had a couple of paragraphs written before I knew anything about the book writing process. And instead of deleting those paragraphs or saying, man, where is this going to go? How is this going to flow? Where should I put this in my book? I plug them into my outline. And if you have been listening to this show, or if you have worked with me before, you know that I say over and over again that your outline is your bull's eye. This is your target. This is what is going to help you stay on track to get to the finish line. So plug whatever you have into your outline if you haven't already established one. I want to encourage you to stop restarting. Build from what already exists. Even if it's just 2 sentences, you're not lacking ideas, you're lacking commitment to the one you already began. So stay on track, stop restarting, work from where you are with that first initial God inspired idea and move from there. Because you can try to go on to your next book idea and it's still going to be the same cycle. So, again, continue from where you first started. Tip number 2 is to stop brainstorming and start writing. Many aspiring authors are so infatuated with the ideation phase. They have 10 book ideas, but no actual manuscripts in the works. And this can look like rewriting your outline, renaming the title of your book, not starting because you don't have a title, you don't know what your book is called. So that keeps you in analysis paralysis from writing, or constantly changing the angle, saying one day you want to talk about parenting, then the next day you want to talk about health, or the next that you want to share your story. Stay with one angle, and then stop watching all the YouTube videos or leaning heavily into chat GPT for help. Now, a I am not against chat GPT, But I do not believe that it should write your whole book for you. Like, that should not even be an option because you're a human being, you have human intelligence, and you are definitely way smarter than ChatGPT. ChatGPT was created by a human being, and so God has given you intelligence. He has given you the power and the ability to write your book, or else he wouldn't have put that idea into you. So stop leaning into um, all these things that keep you sidetracked from focusing on your book, because just staying in this brainstorming cycle, again, it's not moving you forward to a finished or completed draft. Brainstorming can feel productive because it feels safe. It feels comfortable, but writing your draft can feel risky and out of your comfort zone because this is something that you haven't done before. So of course, if your brain is not familiar with familiarity of writing a book, then of course there can be some resistance there. But when you move from brainstorming to writing your draft, that's when the book writing process becomes super real. It becomes tangible, it becomes visible. So let's move from brainstorming into writing your draft. At some point, you have to close the idea phase and enter the writing construction phase. So you have to build out your book by writing it. That means no more rearranging your outline for the 15th time. That means no more coming up with another book idea. There's no more major pivots until the draft is complete. Put your new ideas that you receive or that you have in a parking lot document for later. And then you can have like a whole career of being an author. And how cool is that? Because you have all these ideas. You don't need a better idea. You need to develop the one that you started, the one that God gave to you, and really hone in on that and start writing. And if you've already started writing, continuing to write. Don't go back to the drawing board. Number 3 is to, and the most important, I believe, is to lean into the unction and voice of the Holy Spirit. What is he leading or telling you to do? What has he already told you to do that you have not moved on as it pertains to your book idea? What are you supposed to be doing at this point, at this time, at this season concerning your book? I believe if you really rely on the Holy Spirit throughout your book writing process, you will get so much further along, and fear will not stop you. Complacency, your comfort zone will not stop you if you really rely on the Holy Spirit throughout your book writing process. Again, you're not stuck because you lack ideas. You have lots of ideas, but you could be stuck because you don't trust the voice that has already given you the idea and has confirmed it over and over and over again. So lean into the unction and the voice of the Holy Spirit. Of course, the Holy Spirit doesn't always give you the whole manuscript at once. It could be a phase, but you have to start writing in order to get to this point. You have to take the initiative when he gives you the title, when he gives you the chapter concept, when he gives you the theme for your book, a phrase, or the nudge to write about something specific. You have to move on that, because if you don't and you're allowed to stay dormant, and then you just stay in the cycle of procrastination and of overwhelm because you haven't even moved on the one step that the Holy Spirit has instructed you to do. So don't take the voice of the Lord for granted, and just move on those small, simple tasks that he's asking you to do pertaining to your book. Don't worry about the what ifs. What ifs only bring anxiety and stagnation. They do not move you forward. They don't compel you to move forward. And there's been studies shown in different places and all of that. I won't get into the science, but they say that nearly 91% of what ifs don't actually happen. So, and then the other portion of that is that those what ifs that you were worried about turn out to be way far better and beyond than what you were thinking. So don't stay in that place of what if, but just really take action. Take action in this season. Instead of fretting over ideas, lean into that God inspired idea that He gave you for your first book and start writing. Instead of over analyzing, obey, move forward with action. You got to obey. How will you ever see the outcome? How will you ever see the finish line if you don't obey, if you don't move? Instead of doubting, write. And completion doesn't come from collecting more ideas. I want to say that again. Completion doesn't come from collecting more ideas. It really comes from honoring the one idea that you were giving and walking it out with discipline and partnership with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit wants to write this book with you. He's here for you. He can lead you in all aspects of the book writing process and send people into your corner to help you and get it done. So I hope that this episode has encouraged you today. And just to recap real quick what I've shared concerning not fretting over your ideas, but 3 tips to help you complete your draft in the season is: number 1, continue from where you first started. Number 2 is to stop brainstorming and start writing. And the third one is to lean into the unction and the voice of the Holy Spirit and follow what He is telling you to do. Now, here's my question for you. Which phase are you in right now? Are you still in the idea phase, or are you ready to enter the writing construction phase? Are you really ready to start writing and get this book to completion? Because you can't live in ideation forever and expect a finished manuscript. It's just impossible. So here's what I want you to do. This week, I want you to pick the idea you already started. Stop rearranging your outline or fiddling around with the idea. Create a parking lot document for any new ideas that may spark you or that you already have, and commit to writing forward. So go forward and write. And most importantly, invite the Holy Spirit into the process intentionally. So ask, Holy Spirit, what are you leading me to write next? How can I expound on this book idea that you gave me? What needs to be said here? And when He speaks, listen and obey. Instead of fretting, lean in. Instead of overanalyzing, obey. Instead of doubting, write. And of course, if you need structure, accountability, and clarity so you can stop circling ideas and finally complete your draft, I want to invite you to sign up for Create a Solid Book Plan, a 1-hour coaching call with me. You'll get to work with me one-on-one, where I'll help you create a solid book plan to bring your first book to life without the chaos. You'll learn how to clarify that God-given idea to develop a clear roadmap to begin the book writing process. Head on over to DonnaCherie.com/coaching. That's at DonnaCherie.com/coaching. I look forward to working with you. I pray that this episode has blessed you and helped you along your book writing journey. Until next time, ciao. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's episode inspired you to take that next step to write your book. Remember, small steps lead to big results. If this podcast has blessed you in some way, be sure to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. Your support means the world to me, and it helps others to find the show. Also, be sure to pass on the inspiration by sharing this episode with a friend who could benefit from this message. God bless you, sis, and never, ever give up.